is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Tyson, and in this video we are going to be taking this 1970 Charger out of the dirt and moving it into the shop to start the 70 Charger build. So as I do a walk around on the car, I'll give you guys some information. Basically, this car has been sitting for way too many years. Right now under the hood we've got what is believed to be a 440. At least the block is for sure, and originally this car was a 383 car, but obviously it was switched somewhere along the road. This car is a disc brakes car. It does have discs in the front and drums in the back. Overall, the car is in pretty solid condition for how long it has been sitting. The body, of course, does need some love. It is pretty full of Bondo, but other than that, there's minimal rust. So basically with that, the car is in the shop on the hoist and ready to get started. Oh, you're getting gas here. I need to cut.
Never thought of that, did I?
Alright, so after getting the car in the shop, the first task was to fire the car up. Now this is because my dad does want to drive it a bit before we actually start to work on the car. First things, we were having trouble getting sparks, so we kind of just hillbilly rigged that little system right there, which fixed the spark problem for a minute, but then we realized that this carb was leaking and the floats were stuck. As you can see, we took that old carburetor apart and the floats were junk. So basically my dad robbed the carburetor off of his Super Bee, and we're going to try that tonight. For now, I just got to finish taking off this carburetor. Alright, so as you can see, we tried that carburetor and it also didn't work, so there are still a few possibilities on why this car doesn't want to fire, and we are going to get rid of another possibility by changing out the starter. Now, I'm not too sure what my dad has for another starter, but he just phoned me and told me to take this one off, so that is what I'll do. Alright, so there it is in all its beauty. And now we wait and see what my dad has for another starter. Okay, so when he told me he had a new starter for the car, I was kind of expecting like a new used starter, but he actually went and picked up a brand new starter. As you can see here, it's one of those 90s Dakota's replacement starters to help the motor turn over faster and better. So we did install that and try it out last night, and yes, it did turn over the motor twice as good, but we weren't putting any gas to it, so we didn't actually start it. And then my dad told me, we charged the battery overnight, my dad told me he came in here this morning and tried to do it again, and the motor wouldn't turn over as well as it did yesterday, so he just got me to pull all the spark plugs. I'm not quite yet sure what he wants to check for, but I finished pulling out the spark plugs. It wasn't too hard, but it was not easy at all. And yeah, I guess we'll see what we do with it. So basically, all he did was check over the spark plugs and then I just reinstalled them. So that's all right. We are going to try putting gas to it a little later tonight and see if it'll fire. Hopefully it'll fire. Okay, so basically we were about to put some gas to it and see if it would fire up, but we decided to check timing first, and we checked timing. Timing was a whack off. So we adjusted that and put some gas to it. It fired right up. I will show some videos in just a second, but my dad just went to town to get a fitting for a line, and then I'm going to put wheels on the car with some lug nuts, so I'll show you guys that first. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. The 70 Charger lives again. It smells like exhaust fumes and fire in here, but that is all right. So once the car got warmed up, everything seemed to work. The radiator was cooling and the gauges were also working. It did take a second before we were able to disconnect the battery and have the motor still run off the alternator, but it did eventually happen. So now that it runs, there are a few more things we got to do, and then it should be ready to hit the road. Of course, it won't be hitting the road for long because it'll be back in the shop pretty soon, but you know what I mean. Quick few test drives. We have to relocate the battery back to the trunk, which shouldn't be too hard. And then for now, we've just been running gas out of a jerry can, and we're actually going to run that line through the hood and hopefully just in through the window into the passenger seat. It's just a quick little fix, you know what I'm saying? But that can be saved for the next video, and my dad does say there might be a few donuts involved, so you might want to stick around and watch for that. So with that, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like button down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.